He was a wise man. What message was it he taught that made so many of our people come in throngs to hear him? He taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the American so-called Negroes are the people who are symbolically described in the Bible as lost sheep. He taught thousands of black people in Detroit that the Negro in America is the one that the Bible is talking about as the lost sheep. That the Negro in America is the one that the Bible is talking about as the lost tribe. That the Negro in America is the one that the Bible is talking about as the lost people of God. This was his message. And he said, I am your brother from the east, your long lost brother from the east. I have come to open your eyes and tell you these things. They say he knew more about the Bible than any man that they had ever listened to. He sounded like he wrote the Bible. He used to talk about the history of Moses and the history of another scientist or prophet named Yaqub and the history of Jesus. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that as Master Farad would talk to them about these biblical characters, he wasn't talking like he was repeating what he had heard somewhere else, but he talked like he was right there with Moses. He talked like a man who was on the scene with Moses. He talked like a man who was on the scene with Jesus. He talked like a man who was on the scene with Daniel and with Abraham. He didn't talk like he was saying something that he heard someone else say, but he talked like someone who was on the scene and had witnessed the lives of these men himself. And he said that the Negro in America was the lost sheep, the lost tribe, or the lost people of God. And that you and I originally belonged to the religion of Islam. He said that Islam was the natural religion of man. That Islam was the name of God's real religion. And that the nation of Islam was the nation to which the black people originally belonged. And he said that the so-called Negroes in America had been lost from their own people for 400 years. And because they had been lost from their own people for 400 years was the reason why they were referred to as the lost sheep or the lost tribe or the lost people of God. But he also taught that his coming, the coming of Master Farad, was for the purpose of finding the so-called Negro, and that he had found them. And he said that these were the people who were lost, but thanks to his coming, they were now found.